For 250 years, the United States Marine Corps has stood as the world's most formidable fighting force. From the founding at Tun Tavern to the battlefields of today, their legacy is one of sacrifice, courage, and uncommon valor. Today, we honor that legacy with a historic salute. Marine 250, from sea to shore, starts right now.
What a day it is. You know, I had the distinct honor to cover the 250 parade for the United States Army, the 250 event for the United States Navy. My good friend Amanda Head on location now in California because she gets the distinct honor of honoring the United States Marines at 250 years old now. And yes, she's with us. Amanda, welcome to it. Great day out there, it looks like.
Absolutely gorgeous day. And Steve, you know, it is an absolute honor to cover this event, but it kind of puts things in perspective. Steve, you and I have covered politics together at Real America's Voice for quite a long time, back before the 2020 election. And I keep thinking to myself, for us, for those of us who cover politics is our life. We eat, sleep, drink, and follow it all day long. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive, not only for our nation's 250th birthday, but to have President Donald Trump in office, who, you know, is overseeing all of these celebrations. And his fingerprints are all over this. Obviously, this is all about commemorating the 250th birthday of our great United States Marines. But the playlist here, it's Donna Summer, it's Beach Boys, it's all of those songs that, Steve, I know you are familiar with from President Trump's playlist, from rallies and the playlist that he plays even at Mar-a-Lago and at the White House. So it is a fantastic day. As Ben was telling you, the weather is just spectacular. Things are going to get kicked off around 1 p.m. and that is when the ACVs, those are Amphibious Combat Vehicles, those are going to be launching off of Navy ships just off of the coast here in the Pacific Ocean. Those Amphibious Combat Vehicles are going to be traveling to shore. They're going to land a little bit north of here at Red Sand Beach, and that is where Vice President J.D. Vance, who, as Ben was talking about, served as a Marine, our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan, they are going to be there on the beach receiving those ACVs, and that is going to be telebroadcast on the screens that are all around this venue. This is the main stage area, so people will be able to see that. That's going to kick off at 1 o'clock, and of course, right when you were trying to come live to me earlier is when they kicked off the sound check, which is why I had to switch over to these eyesores in my ears. But at any rate, everyone here is excited. This place is crawling with men and women of the United States Marine Corps. It's wonderful to see, and what a day to be, you know, here celebrating our nation's birthday.
Yeah, Amanda, you're right. Thank you for that, by the way. Same thing happened when we did the parade for the United States Army. Same thing happened 2 weeks ago. The United States Navy, they turn up the sound system to the point that your eyeballs are jiggling in your head. That is a fact. Now, Ben's going to be right down there on the beach. For any of you just joining us now for this Marine 250 celebration, he's at a beachhead, and he's got the command and control to one side. He's got all the Marines to another side. They're going to be down there. They're going to report to Pete Hegseth. They're going to report to J.D. Vance, who are both going to be there giving comments where Amanda is. But, Ben, you're right where a lot of the action is going to happen. You've got a front row seat on a beach. It just figures Ben's on the beach on this beautiful Saturday, but it's a place where there's going to be a lot of action, right?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to take it for the team, and you know, I'm just the lucky one that gets to do it today. Yeah, so just to again give you a setup, what this I've never seen this before. We've got 10 military ships out at sea. Basically, we're surrounded to keep these waterways clear, so no civilian ships are able to come through. Each one of those has a tactical reason for being here as well. We've got the aircraft carrier again, the Teddy Roosevelt, off in the distance. We've got the Navy SEALs have already been deployed out here. They're doing some testing, running through a couple of their spots. A few of the Navy SEALs are going to be dropped out of helicopters. Some of them are going to be coming on those amphibious on the boats, those quick boats that are going to be coming on. It's just going to be an incredible scene to see, to witness. The part that I'm most excited about, though, is the concussion that we're going to feel from that artillery, the live fire artillery that's going to be going overhead as well. But It's just really, really neat. So we've got Secret Service on the ground now. They're doing their sweeps as we speak, just getting ready. So you can feel the anticipation of Vice President Vance going to be coming here. Again, Secretary Hegseth going to be coming here as well. Before they move on to where Amanda's at, the main stage, we're going to get to witness that firsthand. And as you guys mentioned, this to have President Trump, Amanda said that, to have President Trump in office right now at this time, this year commemorating the celebration of our country, not to get too political, but to get political, I just can't imagine this had the elections not gone the way they went. I thank God every single day that we have President Trump in the White House. And all you have to do, Steve, is look outside, we've been talking about, the people that are going to be protesting this. Imagine if they were in office today. Thank God they're not.
I agree with you on that, but here's something I do want to ask you about, Ben, and I'm going to have Amanda weigh on this as well. Look, we're at day 17 now of a government shutdown. This president, this Secretary of War have been working overtime to try to figure out where the money is coming from to make sure that our troops, whether they're stationed here or anywhere all over this world, defending American interests. They're doing things that I don't think we've seen from other administrations, making sure during a government shutdown, those that are on the front lines are getting paid. Air traffic controllers are trying to get TSA paid, all the critical infrastructure. But those soldiers there deserve to get paid. Anybody that's trying to shut the government down or keeping it shut down should be ashamed. Ben, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to Amanda. But your thoughts?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you talk about a job, you're not going into the military to make money. A lot of our military members, service members are like most families across America. They're paycheck to paycheck. They're week to week. They're month to month. And so we have to, and especially the ones that are deployed overseas, their family members are having to live and raise their children here at home. And so nobody deserves that more than those service members. But I also think about the ICE agents that I was riding with earlier this week, and the Border Patrol, and all of those federal employees who put their lives on the line every single day. They absolutely deserve to get paid. And the fact that we have Democrats holding our government hostage primarily to give more money to illegal aliens, it's just not just a slap in the face, it is spitting in the face of the sacrifice of these brave men and women. So I pray, and I thank God again for President Trump and his entire team that are looking for ways to make sure that their bills are paid. It's just, it's sad that we have to even give commentary on it.
Yeah. Amanda, you mentioned here a moment ago, you and I have been covering politics. I've been with this network, I think, since 2019. We've been covering a lot of different things. I cover a couple of different government shutdowns. The Democrats passed 13 continuing resolutions during Joe Biden's administration, another one earlier this year in March, but suddenly they want to play games. And the people that you're surrounded by today are some of the people that are caught in that financial squeeze if they can't figure out where to find more money to keep the checks coming to the military. I think it's shameful. What are your thoughts there? I know you talk to a lot of these people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ben opened up the door for us to get political, so I will second that. And I was just thinking, can you imagine if Kamala Harris was president right now, what the soundtrack would be? It would be Bad Bunny singing in Spanish. It would be Billie Eilish, who takes every opportunity to bash Donald Trump. And it would be a woke fest for America's 250th. So thank goodness that's not where we are. But yeah, we've covered quite a few shutdowns, and Democrats have never had an issue voting for a CR when they were in power. This is the Schumer shutdown. And as we discussed yesterday, the White House is doing a fantastic job of making sure the American people know that this was a CR. The Republicans passed a clean CR. All Democrats had to do was sign on for it. And Chuck Schumer and other Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries out there, are saying, well, Republicans have the House, Republicans have the Senate. Hello, you have to have 60 votes in the Senate. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, not you guys, but Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, if you gentlemen are aware of parliamentary rules, but this is how it works. So if you're new on Capitol Hill, which you're not, you ought to know that. So I think Democrats are doing everything they can to pin everything on Donald Trump. But here's the reality. America is bifurcated between those who despise this country and also despise Donald Trump, and those who love this country and love Donald Trump. And I don't think that the that line between the two has moved to one side or the other. I think that those who support President Trump, they support Republicans standing strong. And I'm with you, Steve. We were talking about this yesterday. Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, don't you guys move an inch. John Thune, don't you move an inch. You stand strong. Do not let Democrats move you towards their side. You have all of the leverage in this situation. You have had all of the leverage in this situation. And the longer this drags out, that just means that there are more layoffs on the federal level. So it's a win-win for the American people, and it's an additional win that Donald Trump is in office, helping to, organize and oversee all of these celebrations. And to the men and women who are here on the ground who, are facing a possibility of not getting a paycheck, if I know anything about Donald Trump, it is that he is going to prioritize our service members, just like he did a few days ago, in making sure that they get paid. Moms who need, supplies for their babies, he's going to cover that. He's going to find a way to make that happen. This is not unlike his business deals in the past. One of the hallmark assets for a business leader is being creative and thinking outside the box. And that is something that Donald Trump has done throughout his career in America, in real estate, in corporate America. And it is a skill that he is utilizing at the White House to make sure that these brave men and women get their paycheck.
Amen. Let me tell you who's standing strong today, Amanda. The trumpet player for the Marine Band right there. He's nailing it. He's knocking it out of the park.
Fantastic.
Right there. He's
so
killing
good.
it.
Yeah.
They are so good. All right, guys.
It's amazing. Yeah.
We're going to check back with both of you. We'll take a quick break here. I want to bring into the conversation now Pete Hegseth, because he has changed the culture of the United States military. When I was with him at the U.S. Army event, you can see how they have embraced him. It was really evident 2 weeks ago there in Norfolk, Virginia, for the U.S. Navy 250-year celebration. When Pete Hegseth enters the room or enters the platform to come out to speak, they go wild. They like this guy because he was a real soldier on par with them. They like him a lot. J.D. Vance for the same reason. But Pete Hegseth really has become a popular individual here. Here he is at Quantico talking about the importance of peace through strength. All right, listen to this.
We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time. And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust upon us.
Or thrust upon us. It's a good message. We're going to talk more with Amanda and Ben when we come back. But first, this gold up 60% this year. Have you realized that? Gold is over $4,200 an ounce. It's not speculation, it's reality. If a portion of your savings isn't diversified into gold, you are missing out. Here's the facts. Inflation's still too high. The U.S. dollar, it's still too weak. And the government debt, it's insurmountable. This is why central banks are flocking to gold. They're the ones driving prices up to record highs, but it's not too late to jump in and buy gold from our friends at Birch Gold. Get in the door now, and Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. You don't pay a dime out of pocket. Just text America to 989898. Claim your free information kit. There's no obligation, just useful information. The best indicator of the future is the past, and gold has been historically the safe haven for millennia. What else can say that? Text America to 989898 right now. Claim your free information kit on gold. That's America to 989898. Protect your future today with Birch Gold. Remember, my friend Philip Patrick at Birch Gold said it's going to 5,000 sooner than you think. Well, if that's true, you might want to get on board. We'll take a break with us. Day of celebration. Marines 250 in California. Moms for Liberty down in Florida. What a great day here in Real America's Voice. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about the woke military and how it's changed under this administration when we come back.
Let's hear it for our tuba player, Sergeant Lester. This tune is called Black and Blues, and it's going to feature our trombone soloists, Sergeant Gallatin and Sergeant Montoya.